You want to talk about making music on a budget? This is how to make music on your phone. It doesn't get any cheaper than that. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead and open up GarageBand on your iPhone, and we'll get started here with a drum sequence of some kind. They have this drummer option here, which I quite like. There's also these drums over here. You have smart drums, acoustic drums, the beat sequencer. That's kind of like a drum machine. That's pretty cool. But I'm going to try this with the drummer to get you started. You can see what that looks like here with an acoustic drum kit. So that opened up with Kyle already preloaded on a track here. It shows Kyle at the beginning. That's like a modern rock pop drummer. You can see that by pushing the arrow here at the top left and selecting Kyle on the drums. If you want to pick something different for your own project, you would go here. It says he does pop rock influenced by modern rock, but comfortable with most genres. Kyle plays straightforward rock beats on a natural, versatile kit. So that's good. And then you have retro rock, pop songwriter, roots songwriter. You can select electronic on the left side here if you like that better for a big room EDM or tech house, dubstep, and so on there, hip hop, whatever your style is. Select your drummer there, and then I'm going to click done at the top here. All right, I'm going to go to this track view at the top left, and that's going to bring me into this section here. Let's take a listen to that. Alright, that's a pretty cool fill at the end. So this will get us started, right? We can always edit this more after we get further into our project. This is just kind of a foundational starting point that I'll start a project with to give me some rhythm to work with. And let's go ahead and add in a different instrument now by pushing this plus button on the left side at the bottom. Alright, and I'm going to look for a bass guitar here. We could add keyboard too, that would be cool. Maybe I'll do that as well. Well, let's start with this. Strings are nice also, check that out. Bass, I'm going to start with this smart bass. Check this feature out. Alright, here we can just touch these strings individually if we want. So if you actually wanted to play that part, you could, but I like to use this auto bass player. At the top right, you'll see this little volume knob looking thing. Tap that, and it'll open this option up, and then you'll see this auto play volume knob, and you can select one or two. And I'll just go with one for now. Let's check this A minor out. Alright, that'll work fine to get us started. So I'm going to do a 3-chord progression, and since I've got 8 measures that I'm working with on this particular loop, I'm going to do A minor for 4 measures, and then I'll do D minor for 2 measures, and E minor for the last 2 measures, and that'll repeat the loop like that. So let's see if I can land this correctly. You do have to touch these buttons at the right time for these measures after pushing record. So I'll push record and give it a shot. Here we go. Okay, going to D minor next. Ooh, and I missed it, you see? That's what happens. If you don't do it just before the measure there, you miss, right? So I'm going to stop that. I'm going to undo that with this little back arrow here, and I'll try again. Two, three, four. Got it that time, huh? And E minor. Alright, there it is. And I've got my loop. Should be good to go. Let's go back to the track page by pushing this button at the top left here. Alright, now let's take a listen to it and make sure it's good to go. Alright, seems cool, right? So let's go with that. Now, this has a key signature option. If I push the settings button on the top right here, this can show us our tempo, our time signature, and our key signature. Alright, so that's good. I'm going to stick with the key of C. But you could change that if you wanted to do a different key. And that's the relative major of A minor, which I used on this track, the A minor, D minor, and E minor. that's the same thing as doing C major for as far as the app's concerned, so we'll leave it with that. All right, next, let's go ahead and check out the, let's push this plus button on the bottom left side once again, and go check out the keyboards. The Alchemy synth is quite cool on this, but I'm going to keep it simple for the time being. Let's use the Smart Piano for this as well to keep it just pretty straightforward for this example. Smart Piano. All right, and the same thing again. Let's use the top right volume knob looking thing. I'll tap that and go to Autoplay 1. And let's see what A minor sounds like here. So I just touched the top of that there. If you touch the one below the top, it gives you just the treble register, or the right hand of the piano, I believe, and then let's check the one below that. Yeah, so that gives you the left hand bass notes of a piano part, if that's all you wanted to add, or maybe you only want to add the right hand, because we've already got the bass notes on with this track, right? So that might be cool actually. Let's check it out and see if that works for this. Okay, so that actually sounds really cool. So let's try that. I'll just add in those right hand treble parts for this. Let's go with that. I'm going to record this now by pushing the red button here. Good, and I got it that time. Let's go back to the track view at the top left button here and take a listen to this. All right, great. So now we've got a good track going so far, or a good 8 measures anyway, right? We got a chorus or a verse here that we could use for something. Let's check one more thing. How about some, and I pushed the plus button at the bottom left that time, by the way, I didn't mention that. Plus button will take you to this page here. I got some interesting world sounds. Acoustic guitar, right? That would probably be nice if we're not going to play a guitar directly, which we could do, right? If you've got your acoustic guitar handy, you've got this right here, and you'll see this instrument button at the bottom, or voice. So you could do either one. I didn't write any lyrics or anything for this, but that would be a good way to go after doing all this. But let's go ahead and do, I don't want to get my guitar out right now and record over this, but maybe I will. Let's see about this. Let me go check the guitar over here and check out the smart guitar. All right, once again, let's touch that volume knob at the top right and go to 1. And let's see what this sounds like. And that's a nice sounding acoustic guitar, isn't it? So let's just go ahead and use that as a strum pattern on this. And let's record the same chord progression now by pushing the red button. And that sounds good. I got it pretty well down that time. Let's go back to this track view and take a listen. All right, and that sounds pretty cool. Now, let's go ahead and check out the vocal part. I didn't write any lyrics for this, like I said. I'm just kind of going through this process to show you how you could make a verse or a chorus. But let's see what happens here. I'm going to select the voice on that. And it has different effects and things, you've got a vocal hall, so it's already got a reverb on it, and a monitor on. I'm going to leave that off for the recording process here so you don't hear that. But why don't I go ahead and record a la 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 or something along those lines with this to see what it sounds like. Alright, let's see how that turned out. Let's go back to the track view. I couldn't let that bad singing stand, so I went ahead and wrote a little vocal part for you. Take a listen to this. You're listening to this song I wrote for you today, all on my phone. All on my phone, just for you today. There you go. Now, but I believe we can add some effects. Like, it sounds pretty dry, right? Let's do this pull out here, and let's go ahead and tap that. It sounds really dry. Let's see what we can do here. Ooh, it has pitch control, right? Maybe I can fix my first part with some pitch control. Here, let's crank that all the way up, and let's do some vocal hall. Let's make it way more echoey. Okay, so it didn't fully correct my off-pitch singing at the beginning, but it didn't hurt it, did it? So not too bad, really. All right, and then we'll go back to this page over here. All right, I'll slide that back out of the way, and that's your 8-measure starting point for a verse or a chorus. And then obviously I've got to go and improve this, right? I got to make the parts a little bit more detailed. Maybe I want to make the drums change in the middle there by splitting it. I could go to the 5th measure here, for example. I could split that drum track right there by tapping that, and then I could split it, and then maybe have the first one do a fill right before going into measure 5, something like that. Here, let's go ahead and try it. Okay, I push split, and now I'll just swipe down on this little scissors, and so now that cut that piece, and I can touch this left part right here, and let's go and look at the loop. Let's see, how do I edit that? Oh, I edit right there. Okay. All right, so now I can edit this first part, and if I wanted to make that, like, let's say more complex, I can just slide that over to the right like this here, and then let's hear what that sounds like. And in this case, that was kind of cool because it covers up my bad singing, right? So, you know, you might want to use something like that. No, I'm just kidding. I'll have to go back and fix the vocal part, obviously. The track sounds pretty decent. You might want to record your own acoustic guitar with that, or your own piano part. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make music on a budget just using your iPhone with GarageBand. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and tap that bell. If you'd like to get a guitar or piano lesson with me, or even a lesson on recording and software, go to kjzmusic.com and click the Book Online tab. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.